Number 2, the expenditure of public funds must be authorized by the governing body. Public funds should not be spent, or appear to be, for partisan political investigations, harassment, or fishing expeditions. This applies to whichever party is in control, no exceptions made. Any investigation, particularly of a member of a governing body, must be scrupulously, openly, and warranted, and for the public to believe it is so. Such does not appear to be the case as we looked at the second set of papers we received, those of invoices from the city's legal firm, Archer and Griner. Of the total bill for $22,258, all except for approximately $3,600 for the public, Police Benevolent Association contract, concerned the lone Democrat on this council. The taxpayers were charged $2,000 for a labor matter, quote unquote, concerning an incident between an employee in the clerk's office and the Democrat. Surely, as Chief Executive Officer of the City of Brigantine, couldn't the manager have resolved this equitably without calling in Archer and Griner? And what was the result? I believe it was dismissed. Another $13,707 was paid by the city, that is by us, to Archer and Griner to look into and way beyond it going back in history, the pertinent issue of a place-to-place transfer of the councilman's liquor license. When was this authorized? And thirdly, under special counsel, and that's COUNSEL investigation, we gave Archer and Griner $2,900 for, quote, potential breaches of official duty, unquote, by Councilman Colella. Who authorized this? Archer and Griner must be glad Mr. Colella was elected. Certainly has profited from his position on council. Now, I asked several times who authorized these actions. I would like to have an answer from council, please.
Well, Mrs. Phillips, regardless of which political party someone is affiliated with, a sitting member of council is held to the same standard of the law as any member of the public or any member of this governing body. So Mr. Barber's job is, as the city manager, to ensure that the laws are complied with, and as well as the responsibility of council members. So that process is taking place.
Right. Now, concerning who authorized the expenditure of funds for investigations with Archer and Griner, I think that is a question that is a serious one and deserves an answer, because this is public money and it is being used what appears to be a form of political intimidation.
Maybe you should wait until the investigation is completed before you form your opinion.
Well, I think one investigation was completed, and that I believe you did authorize concerning the city clerk's office.
Right. So you know that that was authorized.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm talking about the additional ones concerning going back in history on the liquor license, and also any looking for breaches of ethics and so on. And who authorized the expenditure of to pay the legal fees for those?
Right. Archer and Griner is under retainer as our labor counsel, and they are assistant city solicitors. So they are, Mr. Barber has authorization to use the legal contracts that are approved for matters that he believes he needs to have advice from an attorney on. So he has the ability to do that, and he does it at his discretion. We don't tell him whether he can call about an employee or a labor matter. He does that. The one matter that you did discuss was something that has been resolved, but I don't know if that's been has that been released since the as part of the executive session?
Well, at this time, the employee had indicated that they do not want to pursue the matter, but as you know, municipalities are sued all the time, and there's a certain amount of time could happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, that employee could have a change of mind. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still an open matter.
Thank you.
But see, the perception, and I think also the reality, is that you have one person from another political party, and it looks like a fishing expedition and so on. And this is costing us money. This is our money.
Mrs. Phillips, and knowing that you certainly want everything done correctly, and certainly we all want government to be open and transparent and ethical. That is what Mr. Barber is charged to do, and that is to make sure that there has to be checks and balances to make sure that we have ethical, open, and transparent government.
You don't have any substance. You don't have.
How do you know, Mrs. Phillips? You don't know, so why don't you wait until this is over, but I appreciate your comments.
Well, yes, but I still would like answers. Thank you. And by the way, there is still another check, as Councilman Colella brought up, to Archer and Griner, in the amount of $19,000, and evidently this is also in connection with some sort of an investigation. So I think really you owe the taxpayers. You're spending our money. And I think in terms of having investigations, I think there should be a resolution by this council authorizing such expenditures and an explanation, because I don't think that has occurred. And just going off, the city manager taking off and incurring this expense, an investigation, I think has little basis in fact. It's not being transparent.
What we would like to see, Mrs. Phillips, is objectivity on behalf of everyone.
I agree.
Including
and
you.
Your statement at the beginning concerning every official has to follow the same code.
Exactly.
There's no question about that. However, let's not bend it the other way and looking for something that is basically because one person is from another political party. And
I can assure you that Mr. Barber is not motivated by anything other than trying to ensure that things are operating in an ethical manner.
Well, that's the way it should be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.